Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. As my lessons progress through the ABRSM Grade 4 Discovering Music Theory workbook, we now move on to Chapter 7, where we look at the topic of triads and chords in more detail. And in this lesson, I explain all about the primary triads of chords built on notes 1, 4 and 5 of the scale, and we look at these triads in root position, and we also look at chords built of more than just 3 notes. The full lesson explaining this topic can be found on my Patreon channel. If you visit patreon.com/Sharon Bill, you can find the full lesson there, and you can find the links to this lesson in the cards and in the description box below. Following on after this short video, sample examples of this lesson can be found to show you how I explain everything you need to know and work through every single exercise just as if I was sitting right next to you. And when you feel that you're ready to take your ABRSM Grade 4 Music Theory exam, I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory exam. It's full of tips and hints on how to revise and be best prepared for your exam, and also how to make the very best use of your time when you're actually taking the exam. This book is available from Amazon. It's available as either ebook or in paperback format, and you can find the links for this in the cards and in the description box below. Also, all the information that you require can be found on my website. If you visit www.sharonbill.com, you'll find everything you need right there. Enjoy your studies. Bye. So we need to complete each of these tonic triads. One note is missing, and then we need to bear in mind which accidentals we may need to add, because there aren't key signatures, so we need to apply the accidentals. So we need to first of all know what's in G sharp minor, and you need to remember that G sharp minor is related to B major, which is F, C, G, D, A sharps. And then of course a G sharp tonic triad must have G sharp in the bass. If that's the tonic, it needs to be at the base of the tonic triad. If that's the first degree of the scale, it's the first part of the chord. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a G, B, D. But of course it must be G sharps and D sharps because of our key signature. And so all we're going to be doing is now building a triad on these notes as well. And so if we look at this in the context of C major, we see a chord built on the first degree of the scale, the fourth degree of the scale, and the fifth degree of the scale. Now when we use just a number, just the number 1, that means a single note. Whereas when we use the Roman numeral, that's kind of number 1. And when we use a numeral, that's a chord built on the note, the degree of the scale. And it's the same principle in a minor key. And your key signature takes care of all of the details. We have B flats, E flats, A flats, and that will be added to the notes of the chord as you build them. However, because in a minor key the raised 7th, which is the B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, is raised, so instead of being B flat it becomes B natural, we always have an accidental raising that note, and that always falls in the middle of chord 5. There's our 7th, because we've built from a G to a B, and that's the 7th degree of the scale. And so you will always see that there's an accidental raising the 7th, which falls in the middle of the dominant triad in a minor key. Now then here we've got a bit of thinking to do, because I'm perhaps not terribly familiar with this clef. If you play viola, you've got the head start on us here. So we have C, B, A, G, F, E flat. So there's our clue. We're in E flat something. Now we need to just figure out, is it E flat major or E flat minor? So here we know that E flat major has a key signature of B flats, E flats, A flats. Let's see what we've got here. So there's a B flat, there's an E flat, that's an A flat, an E flat, and then that there is a B flat. So it's E flat major, which is a key that we've discussed.